And as promised, we welcome into Studio B, BYU offensive coordinator, the original A-Rod, the OG A-Rod, if you will. Aaron Roderick is with us. Coach, thanks for hanging out with us.
It's good to be here.
Are you competing with Sean Olmstead, the men's volleyball coach with mustaches right now?
Right
He's got a
there.
healthy one as well.
I don't even know what I'm doing, really. I didn't shave for a few days. We had like a long break, and I didn't shave for a few days. And then when I went to shave, I just decided to leave it, and now it's grown into this.
Yeah.
It's a classic BYU employee
My
tale.
kids hate it, and
Yeah.
that kind of makes it fun.
Dad!
Hell yeah, I like to annoy them. So,
How does your wife feel about it?
yeah, she doesn't love it either.
Okay, so open rebellion.
Part of the deal. I get it. Okay, a lot to talk about. Jeremy and I were just talking about the returning production. Bill Connolly of ESPN put out that 88% of the offense and defense is coming back. I mean, that's fantastic, especially when you consider your teams have won back-to-back 10 or had back-to-back 10-plus win seasons. So how do you manage your own expectations knowing that the winning culture is now established and you're bringing back a ton of guys?
Well, we just try to focus on one season at a time, one game at a time. I know that sounds really, boring, but I think the guys expect now to perform well, and we're expecting to score a lot of points. We're expecting to win games. And but if you get too far ahead of yourself, you start thinking about how we got this much production, or we got this ahead of us, or we did that last year, or this 2 years ago, then you're gonna lose sight of how you got there. And so right now we're just trying to focus on the process it takes to get ready to play that opener, and keep working through it each day, one day at a time in spring ball. These winter workouts are all critical, and not forget how we got the production that we got.
Yeah, how do you keep that mindset? Because you want to be like, hey, you've done this, so we expect at least that, and to build off that. But nothing is given; everything is earned, as the saying goes.
Yeah, well, we definitely expect our veteran players to be a better version of themselves this year, and we don't talk about one person or one portion of our offense making a huge leap. It's just we need each player to get a little better. If every guy that played for us last year gets a little better, the cumulative improvement is huge, and so that's the goal. And then we need one thing I was really proud of about last season is how many players stepped up that nobody had really heard of or had big expectations for. We had a bunch of guys. They didn't come out of nowhere to us, but I think to maybe some fans they came out of nowhere, and we need just continued improvement, and then we need some guys that maybe you haven't heard of yet to show up.
Who were a few of those guys who did step up in your mind last year?
Oh man, Campbell Barrington, Braden Keim, Keanu Hill. Keanu Hill played great in the Arizona game. He made a huge play in the Utah game, and then sort of through the middle of the season, those other receivers were really good, and they were getting a lot of the production. And then we have a couple guys go down, and then Keanu ends the season playing great in the last few games. So he's one. There's offensive line. There was a bunch of guys in the O-line, and then all the guys that had been playing all got better. James Empey was better last year than he's ever been. Clark Barrington went from being a good player to a dominant player, probably our best offensive lineman last year. And so, we just need that kind of improvement.
Sure.
Yeah.
I kind of view this, when you bring back so many weapons and so much experience, like it's almost like you're a chef and you're in this elite kitchen and you have all of these awesome ingredients, and you as the offensive coordinator, you've tested out some recipes and you've baked some really good dishes. So, I mean, how do you stay calm and even keel knowing that, man, I feel like I can do more because you've been in the kitchen for longer?
Yeah.
Do you cook, Aaron?
I don't cook very well.
You just cook on the field.
But when you say stay calm, I'm always just kind of like how I am right now.
Yeah.
So I don't get too high or low usually with anything, but it is nice to have we got a good group of players coming back. Daryl Funk's got a really tough job because we're like 10 deep at O-line, and they can all play. I mean, every one of those guys can play. There's a bunch of future NFL players in that group, and it's going to be a real challenge for him to figure out who's the best five, and then we're open to rotating guys too at some spots if we have to keep guys fresh. If someone deserves it, then that's always a possibility as well.
It's super exciting because we don't even have Harris LaChance on this graphic, and he's a legit player.
Connor Pay is another one I should have mentioned. I mean, he had a really good season where like early in the year he was kind of figuring it out, and then by the end of the season he was playing like a long-time veteran guy.
Yeah, that dude had to step in for James Empey.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, no pressure. Jeez, James is an all-timer. Okay, Christopher Brooks, obviously he's coming in. He's not expected to be Tyler Ojo per se maybe, but like what do you think he can be in this offense?
Well, first thing that we saw in him was just great size and speed. I mean, he's 10, 15 pounds bigger than Tyler, a couple inches taller, and he has great speed. He can really run. But the other thing that we really liked about him was just how physical and durable he's been. He was Cal's leading rusher, I think, 3 years in a row. I know two out of the last 3 years for sure, and I think it was all 3 years. He's their leading rusher and was available in every game for the last 3 seasons, available to play. So, and you know, the biggest reason why we went after him wasn't that we didn't like the running backs we have, but we had to face the facts that we've had some injuries. The guys that are in our group have dealt with some injuries.
Certainly.
And we like all of them. We think they can all play, but it was nice to add one more guy who has proven, that he's a durable guy.
How do you feel about the idea of Christopher Brooks being in a room and living with a Stanford guy in Houston Hamuli?
Yeah,
Are they living together?
They're living
roommates?
together.
That's
yeah.
fun.
And it's interesting how Stanford and Cal have a tough time getting guys into grad school, so we were able to benefit off that. We got two grad students.
That's funny.
And you mentioned Houston. He's a 3-year starter and a team captain, and I know, Kalani talked to Coach Shaw about him and just raved about what kind of guy he was on their team and what a leader he was and stuff. And he's already doing a good job for us.
So Jaron Hall obviously doesn't play in the bowl game. I know you talked to Jay Drew recently at the Deseret News, said he's good. Is he going to participate in spring ball, or is he going to?
Yeah, he's doing everything.
He's doing everything. That's great.
He's doing everything with the team. He hasn't missed anything. This winter in our workouts, and he's doing everything in the weight room, all the running with the team, throwing with the receivers every day.
That's great.
Where did he progress the most last season?
Well, I thought what surprised me the most about him was just how well he took care of the football. I mean, usually you expect a first-year starter to throw a few more interceptions. And I know as a team I think we had 5 interceptions in like 386 pass attempts last season. That includes some pass attempts from Baylor, who also takes good care of the ball. But I just thought usually a first-year starter playing against the defenses as good as who we played, you'd expect maybe a few more mistakes, and he made very few. He just very efficient, very smart with the football. So that was probably the part that maybe surprised me a little and pleased me the most was just he's a really sharp guy, takes great care of the football.
Pa was like, hey, I went 3 for 3. I didn't throw one either. Let's go.
Right, there's a few other attempts in there, but his efficiency is really high, and touchdowns to interceptions was high, and then just all the critical games we played, those were close games against good defenses, and he seemed to always make the right choice.
Yeah, I felt like this team maximized the amount of wins you could get based on taking care of the football, great running game, defense was ambitious, and getting the ball. That was awesome. So in terms of the other quarterbacks in the room, obviously you were going after a quarterback recently. He went elsewhere. Is the transfer portal always a spot that you're looking at to see if there's a good fit?
Yeah, everyone in our program knows we're always going to, if there's any sort of difference maker type player that we think can make our team better, that we're always open to that. But we like the quarterbacks in our room right now. I think those guys are good. I'm excited to see them this spring. They're going to get a lot more reps. It is nice, though, to go into spring knowing Jaron's our starter, and then we get to create competition for number 2 and number 3. And, it's been a while since we could just go into spring and say, this is our starter.
He's the dude.
He's the dude.
I was going to say, when's the last time before you were here? 2017, maybe? Yeah. It was Tanner Mangum as
clearly the guy.
As clearly the guy.
Yeah. How about that? Aaron Roderick, offensive coordinator for BYU Football, is with us on BYU Sports Nation. What does the quarterback depth chart and that room look like right now?
Right now, so it'll be, really interesting. Conover obviously got to play a little bit last year and did a good job. And he got quite a few reps during the season. And then we added Cade Fennigan, who, is a good player. And then we have Soljay as well on scholarship. So those 3 guys will be competing for 2 and 3, for those spots. And it's an intriguing group. They're there's a lot of talent there, a lot of athletic ability, and I'm excited to see what happens. But right now, I'd say Conover has he's got the inside track right now, and we're going to give those other guys a chance to compete with him.
I'm thinking about just I don't know. This is a personal thing, but Baylor Romney, if he's out there somewhere and he wanted to come back, like I wouldn't complain about that.
Is he like gone, or is there still a possibility of him coming back?
I have made it clear to him that we would welcome him back. I don't want to, air our
sure
business, on this show, but
go ahead and just look at the camera.
I will say to everybody that yes, we would love to have Baylor back, and he knows that. He knows he's welcome back. All of his teammates would want him back, and same with the coaches.
Gunnar, we're going to need you to put some pressure on your brother, okay?
Why didn't he go to Disneyland?
Go to
with you?
work.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did. I didn't see the other day. Okay, so any update on CODY HAGAN and his decision? Because he was kind of waiting to see who was coming back and who wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know if it was exactly what he was waiting on that decision. We made it clear to him that we were open to him playing before his mission for a year or not. And I'm not sure if I don't know exactly where that sits right now, but we're open to either one. And
we're very excited. Speaking German, me.
You can speak for me on this.
Okay. About Chase Roberts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chase Roberts seems like the real deal, and it's been a while, like for him going on his mission and returning, but we keep hearing amazing things, and the little we've seen has been really good. What can you tell us about the emergence and the development of Chase Roberts?
Yeah, that's a great one. Well, Chase obviously was a highly recruited guy that a lot of teams wanted. He has great size and speed, big guy, great athlete. He got home from his mission, wasn't quite ready last year, and then he battled through some injuries, which happens a lot to return missionaries, especially the skill player guys who have to run a lot and when they haven't run like that for 2 years. Yeah. But as the season went on, he got a little better and a little better and a little better, and by the end of the season, we were traveling him, and he was getting a lot of practice reps, and he was starting to look like a guy. And we didn't use him in any games. I don't think he got in any games, but we are excited about his future, and he should factor in this year. It's up to him. He's got to go do it, but he's going to get every opportunity to be in the rotation.
That's exciting, and thank goodness for this 4 games or fewer redshirt rule.
Yeah.
Like I hate the other sports that don't have
It's a great rule.
Like volleyball, we're throwing a guy in, he's done, right, for that year or whatever.
Yeah. It's a great rule.
And I want to talk about what you talked about and Kalani addressed last week, which was, listen, ideally for you guys, it's if a guy comes home from his mission that there are exceptions to this, but that he doesn't play because physically the data shows that you guys have researched, they get hurt.
Yeah, and we've had a couple of our guys that we sign them and they come home and they're a little upset at us that we want them to wait, but it's better to wait. I mean, it just keeps happening over and over. Guys come in, hamstring, out 6 weeks, start practicing again, another hamstring or a groin or something. It just usually takes some time, and then that time in the weight room is really big, especially in this sport. It's just so physical.
Aaron Roderick, always you're the cool guy. You're the even keel, cool dude. Now with the mustache.
You never raise your voice? Like you're like this?
I do sometimes.
I was going to say, your kid's upset, you're like, hey, stop that.
Yeah. I'm really angry with you right now.
Yeah, it sometimes works against me because I can be hard to read, but I'm pretty mellow.
Your intense voice is not much more than this, you're saying?
Yeah, it's a little more than this, but yeah, I think that's, I don't know. In some areas of my life, it's not a good thing, and it just happens to be in coaching and calling plays and stuff. It then turns out to be a good.
Oh, it's a great
yes,
thing.
100%.
I love that.
Chill in the moment. Yeah.
Well, I can speak collectively again, based on conversations I've had with football staffers, your head coach, and several people in the athletic department, how grateful they are to have you sticking around at BYU, man. So, hey, we
since you started calling plays, I'm seeing 26-6. That's pretty good, Era. That's pretty good, man.
Steve Young, notably. Aaron,
oh, wow.
Steve is a huge fan of yours.
He's a fan.
I didn't know that. That's a pretty good fan to have.
Yes, it is.
He's pretty good at what he does. Yeah.
Good stuff. Thanks for coming in, Aaron.